You ever think about how someone can just lose themselves? And I don't mean in some big dramatic way. No, it's slower than that. It happens day by day, so quietly you almost don't even see it. That's what we're going to dive into, this idea of a quiet surrender.
Right, so it doesn't kick off with some huge explosion. It's not a single catastrophic event that changes everything. Not. The groundwork for this kind of thing, it's laid almost invisibly, piece by tiny piece, in all those little moments we barely even notice.
And here's the thing. There are no warning signs, no alarm bells going off, no big red flags. It's way more of a slow drift than some big sudden decision. Kind of like a fade, you know? It's so gradual you don't even realize the color is gone until you're already living in shades of gray. The start of it all is totally forgettable.
And that right there, that's the key. This whole thing is built on what feel like tiny, insignificant choices, little compromises, tiny surrenders that seem totally harmless at the time. But when you start adding them up, well, that's when everything changes. Okay, so where does a journey like this even begin? It all starts with one single moment, the first silence. A choice so small you'd think it doesn't even count. And it's all justified by one of the most basic human desires out there. We just want things to be easy.
And just look at the reason why. The thought isn't pushed down because it's wrong or, a bad thought. It's silenced for one simple reason. It's inconvenient. Speaking up would take effort. You'd have to explain yourself, maybe even deal with a little disagreement. And in that split second, the path of least resistance, it's just so tempting.
That's the mental math we do, right? The simple, really seductive logic of just making it easy. Why rock the boat? Why get into a whole thing about it? It's just so much easier to nod, let it slide, and move on. And at that exact moment, it doesn't feel like you're losing a piece of yourself. It feels like you're being efficient.
But here's the catch. That first choice, it's like planting a seed. And when you make that same choice again, and then again, that seed starts to grow into something much bigger. It becomes a habit.
And every single time you swallow an opinion or push down a little doubt, it feels like it's just a one-off thing. A small tactical move for right now. You tell yourself, it doesn't matter. I'll say something next time. But that next time, it just seems to get further and further away, doesn't it?
So here's what's really going on under the hood. Your brain is basically rewriting its own software. And the new code is super simple. 1, avoid conflict. 2, avoid standing out. And 3, and this might be the most dangerous one, avoid the hard work of actually thinking for yourself.
And this is where everything gets flipped upside down. The simple act of having your own thoughts, which should be the most natural thing, right? It starts to feel like a chore. And agreeing with everyone, which ought to be a conscious decision, just becomes this comfortable, automatic reflex. Your default settings have been totally reset.
Now, it's really easy to look at this and think of it as a passive thing, like something was stolen from you. But what if it's more active than that? What if it's not a theft at all, but a trade?
Yeah, think about it like this for a second. You're not just losing your voice. You're actually, even if you don't realize it, trading it away. It's happening bit by bit, one little piece at a time, for something you really want in that exact moment. So what's the exchange rate on a soul, right? Well, you give up one little opinion, and in return, you get approval. You trade away a doubt, and you get a moment of peace. You give away a piece of your voice, and you get that sweet, sweet feeling of comfort. But here's the strangest part of all. There's no bad guy in this story. Nobody's forcing you to make these trades. The pressure is 100% internal. It's like you're surrendering before the battle even starts, choosing to fit in before anyone even asks you to.
And this just keeps happening, trade after trade after trade, until one day something shifts. You hit this quiet little crisis point, this moment of realization where you look inside and the place where you used to be is just empty. Just picture it, right? It's a quiet moment. You try to check in with yourself to find what you really believe in, that one authentic opinion that's just yours. You ask yourself a really simple question. Okay, what do I actually think about this? And what comes back? Just silence, a fog. There's no clear signal, nothing solid to stand on. That voice that used to be yours is just gone. It's completely blurred, totally lost in the noise of 1,000 little agreements you made along the way.
Because what's left, it isn't really you. It's just a collection of borrowed opinions, things you've heard other people say, thoughts that belong to everybody else. You've basically become a perfect echo chamber, reflecting the world around you so well that your own unique voice just gets drowned out. So what's the real danger in all this? I mean, if it's not some bad guy forcing you to do it, who's the real villain of the story? The answer? Well, it might surprise you, but it's also probably something you know really, really well. It's comfort. Simple as that. It's not about being lazy. It's not even really about fear. It's about that powerful, seductive pull of just being comfortable. That's the force that slowly takes the place of your freedom when the effort of thinking for yourself, of actually standing by what you believe in, just feels like way too much work.
You know, the mind doesn't surrender with a big, loud battle cry. It gives up with a quiet sigh. It happens in those still moments, the times we choose what's easy over what takes effort. And by the time we even notice the silence, well, the change is already done.
And all of this leaves us with one last really important question, a question you gotta ask yourself. In all those little moments of silent compromise, who or what did you think you were protecting? Your relationships, your peace of mind? And looking back now, was it worth the trade? That's something only you can answer.